Hey everybody, Amy Medford with Medford Knife and Tool. I know I'm usually out in the shipping and receiving room filming knives, but I thought we'd go see what Greg's up to. He's been out on the factory floor a lot lately, and I've been trying to rein him in for a video, so that's it. I'm not asking anymore. We're gonna go get him, so let's see what we can do. Oh yeah, he's busy. Doing stuff. Hey Greg.
Yeah,
What are you doing?
inspecting knives. What are you doing?
I'm standing here with Kathy, sneaking up
Oh,
on you.
hey. So,
Thanks, Kathy.
I'm so tickled. Come in here. So, you know, when you... A lot of guys will feel like this is production, and the name of this knife is misleading. It's the Production Praetorian. But, frankly, none of the big knife companies inspect 45 knives at a time. They probably do them hundreds at a time. So what I do is, and this is a really cool knife. So this is our blackout Production Praetorian in olive drab. I mean, what do you think about that?
Oh my God.
I know, I think it's sexy. And the builds have gotten so nice on these. And we're doing some black ones too. The all black, I just think is ridiculous. And the guys are really getting solid. I mean, man, you know, the first 10 you make of anything, it's a bit of a struggle. And after you've been going for a while, they're fantastic.
Wait, is the liner portion black too?
Yeah.
Well, we want to see that.
Well, this is Armor Lube. This is that new coating I told you about, Armor Lube. It's pretty neat. And I love the action of the knives with it. It's pretty amazeballs. So, you know, it's funny. So when you're doing this many knives, you don't just pick up one and like check it out, because your brain doesn't go through it right and it takes too long. What you do is you set them all out. Like I just went through and I checked all the blades for center, and I had this one I want to get centered up, and there was another one right over here. This one I want for center. Okay, and then at this point when I'm doing this, I'm checking, do I see light coming between anything? And then I lay them all down, and I go for the clip side. So I am inspecting on every one of these. This is the way we inspect all the knives. This is the way I do it all. I lay them all out because it's kind of like Where's Waldo? If you lay them all out and they're all supposed to be the same, what in the hell?
Wow. What's this dust?
Okay, wait a minute. That's kind of cool, actually. What in the hell? I'm going to swap that out for this one because that's going to drive me crazy.
That's definitely one of these things that's not like the other.
Yeah, for sure. So I take the knives and I lay them all out, and I like to go through, and I'm really anal about this, but if I do it this way, I can actually inspect more knives than like 2 or 3 guys together. And we won't really have a different fail rate. The other thing is, your hands are so subjective at any given moment that certain things you might fail a knife for in 1 minute, the next knife, something catches the attention of your brain a little different, and all of a sudden, you know, that knife's a pass. So I've checked all the knives for screws, for any screw knurling and screws at different heights. I lay them all out, and the light's the same way, and then I look across them. So the way I do this is I look down the knife and I see if there's any little screw heads sticking up. Because, you know, stuff can happen. Even if everyone's torquing them the right way, you can still have accidents. And then if anything I see that is kind of weird or gets my attention, I put my hands on it. Next thing I do is I check all the pivot screws. Well, if you've got them like this reflecting in the light, you can see any little friggin' knurl, any little tool mark on them, you can pick right up. This is one of the things we look at for returns. Sometimes they've got a little bit of oil in them or something that creates a little glimmer. And then the last thing I do is, and I do everything on all the knives all the same. So even if I had 20 different knives here, a lot of the times Amy will attest to this. We got Praetorians and Envoles and Decius and Eris and it all mixed in. I do the same approach. So like I'll go through and check the clip. I've already checked the screw heads. When they were on end, I already checked them to see that they're flush. I look at them for alignment and I look at the laser mark. Does the MKT USA 100% American made, does that all show the same way? So like here's Casey, this is a Casey. So watch, we'll have a quick learning moment. Hey, I'm sorry guys, gonna have you all for 30 seconds, please. And somebody bring a driver for the production Praetorian clip screw, please. So what I'll do now, and you know, since I've been doing the inspections lately, I like to turn every inspection section, every time I do inspections, into a little bit of a learning curve. So there's nothing here that's unacceptable so far. What I'm noticing is this, come here, get the camera over here. Come over on here, Amy. So some of them, the clip is very squared away down the back, and some of them it's over in an angle. And that can look like a mistake. So what I want to do, what I really want to see is I want these all to be the same. So guys, have we decided on a standard for where this clip goes? Because I'm pretty sure I've talked about it. I just want to make sure we're all on the same sheet of music. I'm going to go through and change all these, but I don't want them floating out. And Casey, I think you have a tendency to leave yours kind of out in the middle of the knife, like this. Let's get them over parallel to the back like this on the production one, okay? So no big deal, just a consistency thing for if there's 3 in a showcase, we don't want anything looking crooked, okay? Tiny thing, all right, you guys go back to it. Sorry to bug you.
Thanks, guys.
So now I'll jump on this. I'll go through and I'll adjust all these because they're already making progress in other areas. I'll jump into this and get these squared away. And then the next thing I do is I do a swing test on everything. So every knife swing test, I do an open. I'm feeling for progression, what we call progression and regression. I like to feel the lock and unlock. Every knife, I open halfway, do a hard. I like to see how it breaks. If it takes a little more juice to break it after a hard open, I'm okay with that. I open it a little bit, I feel for lash. I swing back and forth for pivot lash. I want to feel if there's any lock rock, any play in 3 axes at the end. Then I break it and I feel a little bit right here. If that's all good, then I want to do a one-hand open with the left hand, and I want to do a one-hand open with the right hand, or a right hand and then the left hand. And that way, I've kind of done everything that someone's going to do out in the real world. The last thing we do is I do a strike test. So I got a piece of 2x4, heavy piece of vegetable tan leather on it. It's got a little rag underneath, and this is to simulate about the feel of a human palm. And then I do a strike about 1 inch from the end. And if I get any fail or rock, I don't like to hit them till I fail them. I can hear if they're not sounding right. If it sounds like there's any loose action in there, boom, stop, do a hard strike, make sure it's okay. And you know, we don't want to beat on the knife, and we don't want to do damage while we're inspecting it. Then once it's done, you know, then I turn it back over and I'm done. And that way I take phone calls and I answer questions, and people come in, I give a tour, I come back over, I know exactly where I'm at. So this is the process. It's pretty friggin' involved going through. And my banker's on the line, trying to buy something, so I'm gonna wrap this up. Greg Medford, Medford Knife, MKT USA, Amy out of camera, I'm out!